I'm going to talk to her. And how's that going to go? You're just going to walk up to her and say, "Hey, I know you've never seen me before, but I'm your dad. Oh, and guess what? You've won the evolutionary lottery. You're a vampire. Let's go to Disneyland." This is another scary movie. No, not scary movie. Scary comics reviews from Werewolf from Wisconsin named Kevin. I got my werecat, let me kill Macer down here, but he just hopped off me. And now he's at my feet, cleaning himself. But we got a pile of vampire books today. You know, those nasty, stinky, confused, vampiric menaces. I read these a while ago, so I gotta try and remember them. It's been about a week, 2 weeks since I read these. But we're starting out with Vampire Bites. This is a few little stories, short stories, published by Brainstorm Comics. We got Vampire Park by Bill W. Miller, Joseph Duncan, Jenny Gregory, and Inferno Studios. This was an interesting little humans that have a pact with the vampires that they can bleed them, but aren't supposed to kill them. And of course, that never works out perfectly. Something always goes wrong. But these are black and white artwork. Great story, great art, enjoyable. And then what Onophile or One File by Amy Wimberger, Mark Hyman, Iman Artur, and Gray Peterson. This was it's kind of an adult version of an Archie comic with some vampire love affairs going on. I don't really want to show much of this one because almost every page has some type of nudity in it. It's kind of hard to pick a good page to start with that one. So, yeah, I can't find a good page to show you. Every page has some nudity in it. And then there's Trickin' by William Martin, pencils by Juan Pineda, John Russell, and Inferno Studios. Comes with a nice color poster of which some may know from VampuRada, Luxura, the vampiress. And this last story just also takes us into a world where vampires rule a nightclub and bringing in different people to work at the nightclub, and you get to find out what their plan is, what they're trying to do. And of course, the humans and the vampires have their issues along the way. But this is interesting. A lot of these that you're going to see today are very erotic based, apparently. These are from a collection of comics I got a while ago. This one I can't really show I don't want to show any full-fledged nudity, but I'll give you that much of it. Yeah, Vampire Callgirls Photobook. Like a lot of these would be going for sale if the wife didn't collect vampire-related stuff. Uh, but this is... I can't really show much inside of this either. Here's a somewhat safe page, but it basically shows actual call girls and stuff, and gives you information on characters. I don't know if they made it from a movie. It's like in the beginning there was a script, and what a script it was. I admit I was taken back by the sheer size of this daunting masterpiece. Each of its 11 pages were chocked full of so many twists and turns that it left me dizzy. I experienced emotion unparalleled during the 10-minute reading. I laughed, I cried, and was simultaneously scared shitless. Uh, this was written by an anonymous cast member, but it's from Everett Hartsoe's Vampire Call Girls. So that must be based off of porn, I'm guessing, or some type of video. But yeah, that one was very strange. It reminded me kind of when I lived in Arizona. You'd get the call girl books and stuff that they had on the corners of. They had the newspaper bins on the side of the road or near businesses and stuff, and then they'd have bins that had all these adult playthings that you could contact and find from around the area. And it's just, yeah, that's what that kind of reminds me of. You'll see a lot of those things in Arizona, California, Las Vegas, all that part of the world, the lost people in the desert. We got Vampire Girls. This one is done by Angel Printing, and they got a lot of different versions that you can that they had for pre-order back in the day on the inside of the cover. But this storyline starts out with an ambulance crew finding some people that they're using for. I mean, basically all these stories base themselves. Hey, an actual page that doesn't have nudity I can possibly show, but this one's also black and white artwork. But it's like they get caught up with some vampires. One person gets bit. She starts to turn, and you get to see what she's going through. And at the same time, we're basically focusing on three girls that may be vampires, may turn into vampires, and along the way they have all kinds of sexual fantasies and things that they're uh, playing with. And throughout all these books, I noticed some very strange sexual things from these, and these books go from the 80s and 90s and stuff, and then you see present day today, and you kind of understand where certain lifestyles were represented in comic form and stuff. This next one, Vampire Girls versus Angel Girl. Let's see, this is I don't know why I have two copies. I feel that I think one's supposed to be autographed. I don't see it on the cover. Some of these tend to do them inside. But basically, again, you're dealing with the black and white artwork. And you're basically getting what the cover says. You're getting a story where a vampire and an angel cross paths, and they end up getting into a battle. We have a battle over a variety of, well, we kind of get like a zombie type character in this storyline that hangs with the vampires, and then the angels fighting back. And it's just kind of get, from our zombie-esque character, you kind of get a Terminator feel from the character. But yeah, this was interesting watching them battle it out. I suppose you do get our zombie character on the cover there too, with our angel and vampire characters. But yeah, more goofy, vampiric, lustful. This one has, no, that's the same one, so yeah, it would be the same vampire girls from this one. So we have all three of our characters in this one also. But yeah, watching them battle it out, the vampires versus the angels, and our little zombie character, and some other vampires, and some other characters. It was interesting. All these were pretty much something to see, but I don't know, just very strange. You got to be in that mindset to read these. Now, this one I believe is based off a video game. Because we got get in touch with your inner psychopath. And you better learn fast because you're Keith Snyder, bodyguard, trapped in the Desert Moon Hotel. When all the patrons are turned into vampires, your job, find out why and destroy a few million nasty vampires in the process. There is a myriad of environments, awesome weapons, and challenging puzzles to keep you on the edge of your seat. You can even pick your blood type and play as a human or a vampire. Videogames.com said if you're looking for a Resident Evil style game with a twist that might be your best, this might be your best move. So get moving before you become dead meat. This one, forget color, but it gives you a storyline basis that, from what I can tell, is lead up into the beginning of the video game. So if you want to play the video game, this would be a nice thing for you to check out. This is November of 2000, number 0 from Studio G. And it is writer Byron, artist Derek Gross Sr., colorist Scott Rockwell, editor Faye Perozich. It looks like Bandai Company did the game, and it's published in cooperation with them and based on the game produced by Ken Fukaki. But yeah, I don't. I feel like I played all games back then that were anything related to this. And seeing the character imagery and stuff, I feel like I played this game. But yeah, hell, I might even have it. It's a PlayStation game from the early days of PlayStation, so I might have that game sitting here somewhere. Alright, the next one we're going to talk about Vampyre's Prank. This one also should be a signed edition. Yeah, there's a signed edition. It has all the signatures and numbered on the front of her chest in gold writing utensil that they use, gold ink. This one's more of kind of like poetry, pictures and stories. And you get a bunch of different little poem type things, little sayings, variety of stories. Or you have a couple people talking, or it just fills out the story and just goes deeper and deeper into what all these pictures and images have to represent in the vampiric world. I must have been mad. Oh, for shame that I was not mad. Perhaps then would not feel so ill at ease with my present condition. The cat on the wall outside my window was actually speaking to me. Understand, I was a man of God. There's a wry bit for you. And regardless as to how my outward appearance may seem now, I would like to think I have not been totally forsaken by my Creator. So I should have suspected some terrible devilment at work. It's like all this kind of just plays into each other, and you go through a bunch of different characters. Uh, Basically, characters meeting their demons and being turned into the things that they fear most. Yeah, that one was very goofy. Then we got the Vampire's Promise, the House of Donovin Divohsh by Rosariki and Tavisha Wolfgarth, and it's from Acid Rain Studios. But this one, we're kind of playing with hell creatures. We got now this also Vampire's Promise. Oh, she's gonna appear in another book that we talk about, but our vampiric character here with the mask is also a shapeshifter and vampire. So she's turned from wolf to bat to whatever, mist and all the standard vampiric forms. But you also get that humanized vampire form. But yeah, you got a lot of strange imagery Kind of Egyptian feel to it. It's definitely got a manga feel to it. We have a talking cat in this one. Uh, Basically, another creature in character in animal form. And our vampire hunts different types of vampires, and it's just this storyline I enjoyed probably the most out of all of them. But there was one that I think will be coming up yet that was before this issue that kind of led into it. But yeah, I think this next one might take us there. But this one here first, the Vampyre Versus. It's this one again. We're going back into black and white. Uh, See what we got here. See if we. Dang, they don't give you much to work with here. uh, Basically, you got vampires, kind of punk style vampires in this one, and they get. I think this picture is pretty much safe. They're kind of in a realm of vampires, a world of vampires. They're just taking over everything and trying to protect yet awaken. I think it's Angelica, their queen. And while that's happening, you got characters that want to take over rule and kind of do stuff that's going to affect the other vampires that they're going to try and turn on. And it's another storyline where the vampires are basically fighting with other vampires while yet draining all the humans of all their life. Then we got Vampire World upon a Black Spire. This is by Rosariki, Tavisha Wolfgarth, and Acid Rain Studios. This gives us more of a storyline about our character with the mask, our masked vampire hunter type character. It's like if you get into the Japanese style lore, it's a little bit hard to understand. I think there's a safe page to show. It's like the vampires don't have the same amount of types of abilities as they do in Western lore, and it just they almost sometimes feel like ghost characters when they represent them. I forget what they call those demons that they like to hunt, but I kind of get more of a feel of that from the vampire characters than the Western vampire feel. But yeah, we get our masked lady vampire hunter, demon hunter in here again, and it just more tales of vampiric romance and lore. It just keeps getting deeper and deeper in the strange world that these comics brought to us. This one is the Vampress Luxura Annual. I believe this had this one's more of like that other one where you get the different characters with a storyline, like Blood Sorcerer. So you basically getting a story on each page representing each character or ability or something, like this one, Serpent's Tooth and Crackius. Just the Beast, as Aleister Crowley laid on his deathbed, he ordered his demon persona, Aiwass, to summon Luxura. Luxura came to the deathly sorcerer's call, out of curiosity. There she learned that he wanted to conceive a magic child with her, so that he may inhabit it after his death. Luxura refused and was victorious against the demon Aiwass. Luxura collected blood from the sorcerer as his pulse grew faint. And it goes on a little further, but there's an example of one of the little stories in here representing, just explaining the character, what's happening to the character. But it's all right when they do stuff like that. I think she did that the best, and she did uh, the one that was based on 36 different movements. Then we got the Vampress Luxura Leather Special by Brainstorm Comics. This one's just basically a bunch of artwork pinups. There's one that, better not show that page. You get pinups in here. You get a variety of artwork of our Luxura characters. This one, it's nice that you got the artwork, but it's a bummer that it's all black and white. They send this one to Jeff Belkey and color it for me. Here's another one of our cat character. We got VampuRada, Tales of Shade Terra. And this is by Tabby Cat Comics. Rosarika and Toisha Wolfgarth. At least they got some wolves in this stuff. It's not all this boring vampire stuff. The earth laid out flat like a paper map was dropped here in the hourglass dimension, a dimension of infinite land. Now, after 37,000 years, the once bright earth rests as a vague apparition known only as Shade Terra. And this again has our vampire hunter character, our Egyptian character, our cat mask, all that going on again, and just in weird green hued pages of black and white artwork. And it's getting more and more into those Asian lore of vampiric storylines, and we do have our cat shapeshifter also in this one. But yeah, those three stories were the most fun just because they give you something different, a different type of twist. But it's basically a war between vampires, humans, demons, all that stuff. And then the last one, we also got a signed copy of this. This is Vampyre Wars. I don't know where the signature is on this. It must be on the inside cover. It's a signed and numbered edition. But Vampyre Wars, the Blood Factory. And that's basically what it is. You gotta deal between the vampires and the humans, and this realm that's cut off from the humans, and if you can go there and be bled, or you can go there and probably never come out again and find out what's behind the doors, behind the walls. You got an interesting Van Helsing like character that has like he's missing an eye, and his eye patch has a cross, I think a silver cross over it that he uses to his ability at times. But he's on the search for someone, so he goes into this vampire city type environment, this closed off environment, and he is after someone and wants to find out who's causing what and why some humans gone missing. And you find out it's basically more about blood, making a blood factory and sucking the humans dry. You got your somewhat good vampires and your evil vampires. And then we got our private eye guy trying to figure things out. That one was another decent one. I enjoyed that one too. But yeah, the rest of them were pretty damn goofy. But they'll stay in the wife's collection. That's about it. Don't think we'll ever pull those out to read again. Uh, Unless I can find out more about some of the characters, and then maybe I'll go back in and check things out again. But yeah, that was our little vampire special. Yeah. It was a strange one, but hey, what do you expect for horror? What do you expect for non-werewolf characters? They're all strange. But that's it for today, kiddies. So, hope you enjoyed your little horror preview, and we will get back with more fun in the dark world of horror comics again in the future. Take care. Bye.